setting 3 cards face down.
You know you got 4 darks.
My turn is over. Activate 3 blasting the ruins.
Young Jynx. Feel me, baby.
Can't get rid of it. The reason
Young Jynx. Young Jynx. Hey. How can I be the one? How can you be the one for me?
That's all you got.
Hello. I hope you're having a good day.
Alright, so I went to my locals the first time I ever did a tournament to YGO Blackmarket. I am not sponsored by them. I just like everything, you know, the logo and all that. I think it's dope. YGO Blackmarket, right? It was my first time, and for my first time, what I took, so you guys can see this. I don't know if you guys like that. We're all different, but I like it. I like the whole logo, the whole thing. This is their deck box. YGO Blackmarket. Well, this is what I played. I played Shaddolls, right? I guess you would say kind of pure, you would say. I didn't use Access Code or Dragoon. You can. Let me show you. You could do the whole combo, right? You could do the Access Code, Dragoon thing. And I decided not to do that. I just wanted to do like a pure as close as I can and see how far I can go. Right? So let me take out the extra deck and what I ran. I ran 3 Mathematician. Let me get this closer for you to see. Right? Because obviously he's basically a Shaddoll card if you think about it. Like, no debate, you would say. And put the hand traps aside. So basically I ran him. Then I ran Squamata at 3. Cause Squamata, I love seeing it. Cause if I fuse, at least I know I could dump it. I ran 3 Winda. And let me see. I think that's the only ones I ran in 3. Then I ran 2 Aerial. Which sometimes I want to run 3 for certain reasons. I ran 2 Dragons because Dragon to me is the best. Besides Komara and Winda, I think Dragon to me is the best. A lot of people like Hedgehog for searching and all that, but to me that bounce and that pop a trap and spell is like very needed, right? So those are the ones I ran in multiples, and then I ran these in singles. Chaos, Hedgehog, Hound, Genius, Beast, Falco, and Hollow. Those are my one-ups, right? Because I obviously don't want to see them. I want to have them in the deck and search them out and bring out Hollow to banish. And man, I had some games that this card made me do. Oh, anywho. And then I ran 3 Ecclesia. I have no idea what my other one. I think I misplaced it. I have to look for it all over the place. And it's pretty annoying trying to look for cards. And I know if you have Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I know sometimes you even misplace them and you be like, oh, it's a headache. And then I ran 1 Fleur de Lis, however you say his name. Because I didn't run the punishment or anything like that. Like, no. I just ran this because it's a light and the negate, and just for I could use Nadir Servant. Because I know a lot of people are already tired of Dogmatica punishment, and you see it like in every deck, Dogmatica. And I understand you could get tired of it, but the truth is it's such a good engine to splash in so many decks. And I have more profiles that I'm gonna splash this with that I can't wait to show you guys. But yeah, it just, that synergy with Shaddolls is just ridiculous. Because I just want to send App Clone, grab this, grab Ecclesia, get my negate, and then just, you know, just in case. Then I ran that's not a Shaddoll card, right? Because I want to make sure I get what's not Shaddoll. Foolish Burial, and I love Platinum. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love it. I love it because it came in one set. It's one of a kind. It's like a black on black. 2 emergency emergency teleport, and I ran it because of Winda. And this card has saved me. I'm not even kidding. Because if you don't have no Shaddoll card and you got Shaddoll Fusion in 1, you do this, you get Winda, then you confuse, and then you haven't even used your normal summon yet you still got Winda to go to the graveyard. And then on this one match, it was against the Megalith, was pretty freaking cool. I had set him, and then through Winda, I forgot how. No, it wasn't through Winda, it was through another effect. I had this one, and I set it on my turn, and then they went into Zeus with one material, or one detach of two. And then I chain it with emergency teleport to bring out Winda, and so now this is on the field, and then Zeus will go and it will put that and that to the graveyard. I thought it was pretty cool. So pretty clutch. I like it. I like it with this build. You don't have to run it. This is just what I did. And then I ran my favorite spell. Like, I know I love this card because I feel like a lot of people would tell you it's not good for the meta, but it is good for the meta. And this card alone, I feel like I'm building my deck around this card more than everything, because this is why I didn't run the Dragoon package and the access code and all that stuff, because they're my super poly targets. That's my goals. Like, let them bring out what they want. You're gonna take, you're gonna grab them. That's the whole goal. Like, I want to break boards. I don't want to worry about stuff. And then I ran one Call by the Grave because it's that one. If anything, I would have ran it more, right? And for the fusions, I ran Shaddoll, El Shaddoll fusion, which is one of the best cards ever existed for, come on, like, quick play. Especially like they think they got you and you just do something else, or you set it, because this is how you go back and forth. A lot of people run it, and if you're nuts if you run it in one, that means you're not running a Shaddoll deck. Like, that's how I see it. You're just running a different engine, and I understand it, but the best card. Then Shaddoll fusion, because it's beautiful, it's perfect, one of the best fusion cards, broken cards to exist. And this card alone helped me with the virtual worlds when they brought out Shin and all that stuff. And then for the traps, I ran one Shaddoll core, 3 schisms, which is not normal for people, and I understand that because everybody wants to combo to it, but not me. I want to see it in my first hand, so I run it at 3, because a lot of people expect you to do the combo and go into that. And so like this is, I already have it in my hand, and then you could like Foolish Burial and just get some bodies on the floor, do simple things, and they won't suspect it. They won't suspect it. They just think you missed, you didn't pull the trigger. And then my favorite card, and I know a lot of people don't run it because you could consider it slow, but the way I made this deck is basically grind and stop your opponent and just beat them little by little. And without them knowing, they're not attacking you, they're not doing anything, and you're just chipping off points without them knowing. Like, it just is weird. And then my last 2 traps, I ran Shaddoll Incarnation, because I would say like a staple, because you want to flip your cards. And for the hand traps, I ran 3 Ash Blossoms, and I'll explain why I ran Ash Blossoms, because I personally don't think it's the best card, and a lot of people do, and you're not wrong for thinking if it's the best card. But I always tell people Ash Blossom only works against whack decks, and a lot of people don't like that I say that, and it's cool that you don't. It works, it's good, it slows down your opponent, but when it comes to like a meta deck, it doesn't do nothing. The best hand trap for meta decks is Drow and Lockbird. Like, that should be main now. I don't know, but you don't have to. That's just my opinion. But the reason I ran Ash was because my extra deck, because I want to get to him, Shaddoll Grista. I know a lot of people don't run it, and I think it surprises people because it negates summons, right? Negates special summons, and I think that's very strong, especially when they're trying to link up or XYZ into Zeus, like goodbye, or Crystal Wing, whatever they want, because I think negating summons is just awesome. And then I main deck these hand traps. I know you don't consider this a hand trap, but you kind of do, because you could discard it and target one card and send it, and it's a good Shaddoll fusion target. So what I try to do is I send this instead of like my light targets. I send this to the graveyard so I could keep my my Ecclesia. So I keep my Ecclesia in the deck, and I send this to the graveyard. So now they have to worry about that, because once they see that goes to the graveyard, it gets attention. Like they're gonna banish it or something. Do you have a mixed outledge deck? And the one of Chaos is also like kind of clutch. I kind of like this card a lot because there's some good plays. I send him and then like make all my monsters stronger, and it kind of like discards my hand. I know a lot of people don't use it, but I like it. But you don't have to, because you know, when you in Shaddoll builds, in builds, there's so many ways you can run it, and you're not wrong for running it whichever way. This is just the way I ran it to test out in the locals, like a pure version, you would say. I mean, besides an Endear Servant, but they're basically Shaddoll cards now, if you really think about it. And this is what I took, because like I said, you could run Access Code, Appaloosas, but I didn't, because I just wanted to see what I can do, right? That was my test. My first time going to a local tournament and meeting new people, and they're awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a good experience for me. It was a rush. I never felt that before. Like, I thought it was crazy. So run, I won 3 Construct, because that's your main engine, no way around it. Then I ran 2 App Cologne, right? And man, this card is so good with Endear Servant, that's all I gotta say. And then I ran 2 Winda, which, you know, there's other builds I already got ready just in case she gets hit on the next ban list, because come on, why is she not gonna get hit? Let's be real too. And then my favorite card that people think is whack, but I don't think is whack, is Shikanaga and Griska. Man, I just wish it was a faster way to get to this. And the only way I could get to this fast is if I'm going against Solomon Great, and then it's super clutch, right? Because you're gonna negate what access code or something before it even comes out. And then yeah, you can, because they don't come out. Yeah. And then another one is this one, because when a card is, if a special summon monster activate their effects, you discard 1 Shaddoll card, in which we will be because it's a pure deck, and you negate the effect and destroy it. That's not whack, that's good. So I don't know why people keep acting like that's whack. Like, come on, negate a monster special summon effect and negate a summon. Like, the fusions are good, but I understand why people won't run it, because you know, everything's a speed game. But like I said, my super poly targets are them, as weird as it sound, because if you ever get stuck with a Shaddoll, no El Shaddoll fusion or Shaddoll whatever, you normal summon, then you just super poly, right? And then one of my favorite cards of all time, and I have them like in almost any deck that has super poly, is the Mud Dragon, and then the Starving Venom. And this is the links that I have. The Gravity Controller, because you know, combos, Amarage to get into Construct, and the Cross Sheep and the Construct. So I try to make it as close as a pure Shaddoll I can. And what I learned from it, because it was just my first time, and that's basically what I went for. And what I learned from it was a good experience. I was excited. I was just happy to be getting draws and win, and I didn't even know the point system or anything, so I didn't know what to expect or if I had to win. I was just going to enjoy myself, not trying to win the whole thing, but if I win, I win kind of thing. But the way my first match was against Mutants. I won that one. That was the first time I went against it, believe it or not. It was pretty cool, and I know that guy was like testing it out because of new support, so that was pretty cool. It was interesting because the interactions were back and forth. The second match I went against was Sky Striker, and that was the first time I went against it in person, even though it's a big legend legacy, because you gotta remember, I didn't play around that time. So he won the first one and I won the last one. I think we ended up in a draw. So the Mutant I won, the Sky Strikers I ended up in a draw, and then the next one was against Virtual Worlds, and Virtual Worlds I beat them, It was like a 1. He won 1, and then I won 2, or maybe it was just 2. I forgot. And the next one after that was against the Ritual Megalith, and that was the first time I went against that, and that blew me by surprise, because when you first go against a deck, you don't know what to hit, and I guess that's why it got me by surprise. So the first one he won because he went straight to Abyss Dweller. What a surprise, right? And then the second one I won because we went to time and I had way more points. But I'll say it in the end. And then that was the fourth one. No, that was the last one. That was the fifth. Virtual World was the fourth, and my third one. The third one was actually PK, which was the 3-axis PK, and that one won. And my hand, man, talking about like, I know that deck more than any deck I went against, and that's the deck I lost to, which is weird because I built that deck a long time ago, like before it was popular the way it is now. Well, it's always been popular, let's be real, but like 6 months ago it was already great. And I think like it's weird how like some cards, there's so many decks out there that are good, they're just not popular, and they're not run by good pilots, you will say, or not, you know, and they're good, they're just not popular. And that's what I think I wish people understood more. Just because it's not popular does not mean it's not good. And so that deck won. My hand was, I still remember that hand, it was horrible. It was 2 Super Polys, 2 Nibiru's, and Shaddoll Beast. And I know a lot of people don't know, some people don't know what Shaddoll Beast is, but basically it's a brick, you don't want it in your hand. And that's what I started with, and he filled the whole board, and I was like, man, I can only get rid of what, the 2 polys. Anyway, Super Poly targets. Now, what I learned from it, would I add this package? The only thing I think I would like to add, like, it doesn't hurt adding this, and you're not wrong if you add it, right? But I'm not gonna add it. The way I see it with the way the meta is right now, and the way everything changing, I'm still gonna, like, in my extra deck or my side deck, I think I'm gonna start just getting rid of like back spell negations and stuff like that, and just put Super Poly targets, because I want Super Poly to be my main card. Because like this one, okay, this one is 1 Dragon Synchro plus 1 Warrior, and if you look at how the meta is gonna shape with the Auroradon combo, we're talking about Borlo Savage and Baroness the Floor. So that's a good Super Poly target, right? Or if you're going against a Link deck that Link spams a lot, 3 Links, okay? And then maybe, I don't know, I mean, like, I don't know what deck does a Spellcaster and a Dragon, so this is just one to keep in mind. But I think this, like I said it before in their starting deck, that this is gonna be the card. I just know it, because people are gonna do the Auroradon Link, and then you know they're gonna end up on Abyss Dweller or something, and then a Synchro monster, which is gonna be either Borlo Savage or Baroness the Floor. And so I feel like this might be moving into the main deck pretty soon, because not everybody's gonna run that package, because not everyone's gonna be able to afford, or maybe they will if they're willing to risk it for the biscuit. Because also I am thinking, because I know people are wondering, I am gonna get Baroness the Floor, because I was thinking about doing the combo with so I'm gonna do this right now, so for you guys can do this too, because this is pretty sick. So you could just figure out a combo just to send Schism, do everything, flip. Instead of flipping Aerial, you flip this one, right? And then this is the tuner, and then this is a level 8, and then you'll synchro into Baroness the Floor, and then this one will activate to get you Schism or Shaddoll card from the graveyard. So now you have a negate, and yet you still have your Shaddoll plays. Yeah, and that's how I ran it for my first tournament. And like I said, the only thing I would change is of course I'm gonna take out Cross Sheep and take out this one, these two. I'm gonna take them out because I don't plan to link. And I will probably side deck Dragoon, because you can even run, this is just my theory, right? You can even run the Red Eyes Fusion in 3, because and then you can even discard it with Super Poly later. because this deck has no problem. You know, sometimes it breaks, right? I mean, if you play Shaddoll, it breaks. So that's why I think I had a real good run, and I'm gonna take it way more serious next time. This was just a test run, because you could activate Foolish Burial and try to bait out the Ash and just start comboing. You know, send Skomata send another card, or like send Hedgehog get another card to your hand, right? And then if they're not biting, because they would have used Ash right there, let's be real, because this is Shaddoll's, they work in the graveyard. Like, you gotta stop that shit before it even starts. So now you bait it out, and then you could use Red Eyes Fusion and then take out Dragoon, and then set one card and set, like I said, for me, this card is very good, even though I know a lot of people don't play it and it's old school. Sinister Shadow Games, because I was on Dueling Book, I was going against the Florwunderies, and they right away on their own turn, they shotgun Dimensional Shifter or whatever it is. So this card actually saves me more, like it gives me patience. I set, and then when it goes back to their turn, they can start comboing on their turn. And this is why I love this card, because you're like consistently interrupting them, and it's annoying to them that when you're playing on their turn, like I think it's anything, even if they have triple tactics, who cares? You gotta risk it for the biscuit, like, right? Like, you're playing on their turn and you're interrupting them so much that it's annoying, and it'll get them off their game, because no matter what they do, they know you probably have a trap or something to interact. Oh, they're setting a good spell, you send Dragon, you flip, you get it? Like, you send Hound for they don't attack. Like, it's pretty cool, it's pretty fun. If you play Shaddolls already, you already know this deck is fun. And I will always consider this, not always, because, you know, everything changes. This is like a meta low super rogue kind of deck. I don't know how you, it's meta because it eats up a lot of meta decks, right? But if you don't get that right hand, you just, you know. And we'll consider doing this because it's busted. You know how it is with that. So from my experience, what do I feel? What did I learn? Well, one, YGO Blackmarket is cool, right? And it was a great experience. I have nothing bad to say, to be honest. What I learned was the point system I didn't know, so like I wasn't scared to get draw because I didn't know what it was. But this is the point system if you want to know. If you win, it's 3 points. If you draw, it was 1 point, and if you lose, it was 0. And so that's why I think I ended up with 12th place, which hurt because I only had 1 loss. But if I would have knew, like let's be real, if I would have knew, like it was, I think I could have ended up on a 4-1 streak. Because the one I can't say I could save, because if I, you know, your hands are your hands and you are what you dealt with, and if you can't beat that board, it is what it is. So that was a good match, and I couldn't beat that one. I know for sure. Well, what I drew in both, it was just horrible. But that's how it is. You're not always gonna get a perfect hand, the most consistent, because if your deck was perfect, you'll be tier 0, and if it was tier 0, you'll never lose. And no deck right now is tier 0. They're all gonna lose, no matter what you say. Like, they're all gonna lose. And yeah, so I guess I would have took it more serious. I didn't know that draws were like nothing basically. So yeah, it was two wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. It was fun, and I just wanted to share my experience with you guys with the Shaddolls. And I have another deck profile I want to show. I don't know if I want to take it to the tournament first or just show it to you guys. So hope you guys enjoy. Peace. I'm out.
おめえ確かにすんげえスピードだけんど動きは直線的だからよ。